Okay, next up, we want to upgrade the SQL server, SQL server, the database server that runs behind the scenes to the latest version that the hosting supports. So right now, on most of the boxes, well, if you use a DigitalOcean server, that'll be MariaDB 10.6. So we just want to click in here again. So we're on the servers view, and we just want to open our server again. And this is super simple. Now, just be careful if you're doing this, if the hosting has live sites on it already, you want to make sure you have a backup first. So go back into the backup section and hit the take a backup and let that run and let that backup complete. Also keep in mind what we're doing is upgrading the database server. So if you have live sites on there, there is going to be some downtime. So make sure that if you have production sites that you're doing this out of hours, this is not a small change if you have big sites or busy sites. So just keep that in mind. It's much better to do this when you set up the server at first. So go in here, settings and packages. And what we want to do is click here. It's a bit slow. Go to packages. And you see here, this is the different server software. So we've got PHP version, MySQL, Elasticsearch, Redis, Supervisor D. We want to click here. You see here we have MariaDB 10.4. And if you're watching this video and you have CloudWays, so you've had CloudWays for a while, you actually might be on a really old version of MariaDB or SQL Server. So if you have had CloudWays hosting for several years, this might be even really older than this, might be 10.2 or 10.3. So upgrading the database version makes a big difference to performance. So the later, each higher version of SQL Server or MariaDB is faster and has better memory management than the version before it. So all we want to do here is go click and then 10.6 and hit the save button. Now that seems like a simple change here on the front end, but in the back end, the system has to run through upgrades. So it has to download the new version and run an upgrade process and then upgrade the database tables as well. So while this looks like a one-click change here, there's actually a lot happening under the bonnet. So that's what I mean. You need to be really mindful if you have a production server that has live sites on it that are under a lot of load, or they're WooCommerce sites and they need to be up all the time and have a lot of traffic and transactions and things hitting the database. This is going to cause some downtime. So this process on this server here is probably going to be 5 to 10 minutes. On a production server with databases on it, it could take half an hour. So just keep that in mind. So that's pretty much it, the process. It'll sit there and work away. So when it's done, it'll just come back until it's complete, and I'll show the new version of 10.6 in this case. And that's all there is to do. Pretty straightforward.